Our criminal justice system seems to be facing a lot of issues. One of the main issues is individuals being falsely accused of crimes and having to suffer the consequences, even when it's undeserved. Each one of these individuals who's been falsely accused of crimes have their own compelling stories that should make us rethink our criminal justice system. When we hear these instances, we should be able to identify systemic failures and push for reform by highlighting these voices in hopes to create a more fair society. And who knows, maybe we can transform these stories into a powerful movement for change. Welcome to the Guardian File. Make sure you hit that like and sub button. Normally my videos are based around prison life, prison setting, etc. And since the whole goal is to try to prevent more people from ending up in prison, I think it's important to actually show the activities that lead people to prison, even when it points us as law enforcement in a negative light. Now, before I go any further, what I want you to do is imagine yourself having a disability. Also, imagine yourself having to deal with the daily obstacles that come along with that disability. Then imagine that same disability that you were born with and you can't help being the main reason that caused you to get a butt whooping from the individuals who are supposed to serve and protect you. Today, we're going to view a situation where this literally happened. This video is going to be about Phoenix police officers' unbelievable interaction with a falsely accused disabled black man. Again, make sure you hit that like and sub button. Let's talk about it.
The man who is deaf, beaten and tasered by Phoenix police, give his side of the story. He's being recorded by officers inside the hospital right after that violent arrest.
By now, you and millions of others have seen this video of this violent arrest. Officers jumping out of their cars, then punching and tasering Tyrone McAlpin. What you haven't seen is this video, taken 90 minutes later, showing Tyrone in the hospital. This is not a police interview, but officers are recording him. It shows a doctor or nurse asking Tyrone about his injuries.
My face. The left side of your face? Okay. Were you punched? Did you hit your head on the ground? How did your face get injured?
Tyrone is signing at this monitor. On the screen, there's an interpreter.
The officers took me down. I guess I was sitting on my face, and I told them I was kind of to my ears, like, hey, I can't hear, pointing to my ears. I was just trying to show some gesture. And then the cops, because that's the cops that grabbed me, so I was trying to show, like, hey, I can't hear, pointing to my ears, and they stopped, and they grabbed me. Okay.
Again, that's from Tyrone right after the arrest, before he's ever spoken to a lawyer. And to repeat, he says he raised his arms, tried to point to his ears, but officers grabbed him too quickly.
Yeah, I was trying to tell them that I have a disability. Do you have any health problems or disabilities aside from being deaf?
Tyrone and his attorneys say he also has cerebral palsy.
So back when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I used to walk with a walker. Okay. And I had braces on both of my legs. Did you pass out? With the taser.
Tyrone told the medical worker he had trouble seeing out of his left eye, plus neck pain, chest pain, trouble breathing, and when moving to lift his shirt, he yelped in pain. Now, we also got more body camera video that explains a lot more about what officers knew before and after the arrest. So let's start at the very beginning. This never-before-seen footage shows what the first officer was told, heading to a trespassing/fight call from workers at a Circle K.
Aggressor, white female? Woo! I wonder what he said. What the hell did he say? And that's a joke, by the way, body camera. It's a joke. I give you permission to laugh at the joke.
The officer joking with his own body camera is Officer Ben Harris. As he drives, dispatch clarifies the aggressor is actually a white man, something Officer Harris repeats to himself.
White male, 20s, gray shirt, blue shorts. White male, 20s, gray shirt, blue shorts.
Officer Harris then arrives and goes into the store.
Do you need him to leave?
Yeah, I don't want to come out.
The man claims he was assaulted by multiple people, and outside he points across the street. That's where Tyrone is walking.
You're alleging he assaulted you. Do you want him to go to jail?
Yes, he put his hands on me. I felt violent, and he was pushing me outside the door, and he was standing outside the door opening it saying,
Why don't you wait here for me?
Harris conducts no follow-up with store employees.
Hey, buddy, stop where you're at.
Now, we've shown what happens next plenty of times. We're not going to play it all in this report.
Apparently he's deaf, so signs, so I don't know.
So let's get to what happens after Tyrone is arrested. As other officers investigate, they continue to learn that what this guy claimed was false. In fact, back at the store, Circle K employees say he also got into a fight the night before with someone else.
He got into it with somebody in the parking lot.
The white dude.
The white dude got into it with somebody in the parking lot. That person hit him in the face and busted his face open. So he bled, the one that made the complaint today.
Yeah, because we could see when she showed up, you could see the blood on his foot.
Okay, that was from last night.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, because the one with the black guy today, they didn't even fight. I don't even think that he threw a punch.
They were doing the boxing stuff,
but they never did make contact. No, that they didn't. I'm telling you, we were all standing right here. The guy told him to leave. Like, we were telling him to leave, the white guy wouldn't listen. At all.
Right. That's what she was telling me.
Wouldn't listen. So then the black guy was like, hey, man, leave.
This employee clarified Tyrone was actually motioning at the guy to leave.
So she was to leave with his hands because he cannot talk.
The workers say people at the store know Tyrone. He lives nearby and comes often.
He always stands at the door and opens the doors for people. Got here, the black guy was here opening doors for everybody.
And that's his usual routine?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the scene, when describing the force he used on Tyrone, he says this.
Any strikes?
Oh, yeah, head strikes. That's what broke my hand.
Head strike.
And there you have it. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. I'm about to give you mine. The victim's name is Tyrone McCaplin. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. As you probably already know, this gentleman is disabled. He's deaf and he has cerebral palsy. For those who may not know and had to search to find out like myself, these are the symptoms of cerebral palsy. First, the first symptom is impaired muscle control. You also have stiff muscles, involuntary movement, cognitive limitations, seizures, and finally, vision and hearing problems. Now, after hearing this or learning this, you should be able to have an understanding of why this gentleman responded in the way that he responded. And trust me, I'm not talking about the cops. So for those who are thinking of saying that if he would have followed directions, none of this would have happened. Hopefully you realize that he couldn't hear anything, so he didn't know what the directives were or the commands were. Even though he can't hear and most likely has a problem seeing, when this cop hops out of the car and goes straight to putting hands on, imagine how frightened this man probably was. You have no earthly idea what's actually happening to you. So it should be understandable of why this gentleman somewhat resisted. He had no idea of what those police officers' intentions were. On top of him knowing that he hasn't broken the law. So why are the police officers harassing me instead of addressing the guy that set the whole thing off? White man in shorts and gray t-shirt. But from the video, that man wasn't addressed. even though those officers were given the exact description of the inmate. So if there wasn't a call made to 911 with a description that actually matched Tyron McAlpin, why would you be harassing him? Whereas you already had the actual individual that the phone call was made for, the 911 call was made for. You already have him standing there right in front of you. Even the employees of the gas station pointed out who it was, how he does this on a consistent basis, and what actually happened, describing that he was actually at fault and the other guy was just trying to help. Did you really think this man was the one that caused the problem? Or did he go off of different stereotypes? Or did he just not want to arrest the white man? I don't like playing the race card, but situations like this, you have to point things out. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. But even if Mr. Tyron McAlpin wasn't deaf, they still didn't, well, the gentleman that was in the car that pulled up to him, he didn't even give him an opportunity to comply. He jumped out of the car and went straight hands-on. And there are so many policies and laws that were broken in this incident. Laws that are broken by the actual police, the people that's supposed to enforce the law. And here are a few policies that these cops broke. One would be using a taser on someone who is already restrained. They already have the handcuffs on. So he's no longer a threat to you. So there was no purpose to even continue to use the taser. Maybe once in the beginning when he wouldn't cuff up. But as soon as he cuffs up and is no longer a threat, you don't get to just do what you want to do. Secondly, striking a man while he's on the ground and already handcuffed. Just like the first one. When he's no longer a threat, and that's what it is once they get the handcuffs on him, that means he's no longer a threat. So knowing that he's no longer a threat, your use of force has to drop down a level or two. When he's already restrained, you don't get to stay at the top level, knowing that this is kind of coming off as if it was something personal. And I'm wondering if they've had a whole bunch of run-ins with Mr. McAlpin. Because the third law and or policy was broken when he was striking the man on the ground handcuffed with closed fists. A police officer is not trained to hit someone with a closed fist. They're trained for the most part to hit someone with the bottom part of the palm of their hand. Now, to gain a better understanding of the strikes that I'm talking about, you're not trained to use closed fists. You're trained to use the bottom part, the hardest part, the bottom of your palm. If you want to know what it looks like, aside from YouTubing it, watch The Karate Kid. Those are the same type of strikes that we're actually trained to use, trained to do. Cops aren't trained to knock someone out. Cops aren't trained to have the main focus be on hurting someone. The main focus is, because they call it self-defense, is to do what you got to do physically to get the hell up out of there and away from the person that's trying to attack you. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's plenty of laws and policies that were also broken in this situation. In the comment section, make sure you let me know the other policies and laws that were broken in this situation. Now, me being in law enforcement, I sometimes give the police, troopers, city police, deputies, whatever, give them the benefit of the doubt. Because I know as a correctional officer, I'm wrongly lumped in with all the bad ones, the crooked ones. Majority of people view us in a negative way because of the other ones that we're lumped in with. The other ones that abuse citizens, the ones that they're supposed to serve and protect. But every last correctional officer, guard, cop, trooper, anything in law enforcement, we're not all alike. Now, when I saw this video, it made me sick to my stomach. Then when I actually knew details about what actually transpired and this man's condition, it made me angry as hell. Because there's no reason that you can convince me of that justifies what this person did or these cops did. What do you think should happen to these cops? Should they just be placed on administrative leave with pay? Should they be suspended without pay? Should they get probation and get fired? Or the worst thing of all, will they end up in prison? Now, in my humble opinion, I believe that that's where they belong. Prison is where they belong. When you want to do savage shit, they need to lock you up like a savage in a cage. Let me know your thoughts on what should happen to these cops in the comment section. And see, I've heard this statement so many times that the police department are the actual biggest gang. How they treated this man was disgusting. And they proved a majority of the country right. Things like this, actions like this, is what makes a cop's, police officer job just that much more difficult, if not impossible. These type of actions are the main reason why cops have to now, for the most part, look over their shoulder for their own safety. Because people are tired of these unnecessary things that keep happening. I mean, when you do this, I'm wondering what they think. With all the marches, protests, all that stuff, what do you think will come out of them doing what they did? Now, nothing good can possibly ever come out of doing what they did. Now, I truly hope that this gentleman is able to bounce back into 100%, or at least his version of 100%. With the cerebral palsy, the majority of us can't see him or view him as being 100%. Hopefully, nothing like this ever happens to him again. Hopefully next time, he won't try to be a hero and feel that he needs to get involved in some chaos that's happening at a gas station. Because see, him wanting to be a hero or make a difference is what put him exactly in the line of fire. The police. Now, can't go back and change that. So hopefully he'll be able to get a significant amount of money that will be able to help provide for himself, his family, and maybe even generations to come. When he gets his money, hopefully he doesn't fuck it up. Hopefully these cops get exactly what they have coming. They have to spend some time in prison, even if it's just a year. They have to send a message of how this isn't acceptable. Now, do you think these cops, police officers, will be placed in jail and charged. I doubt it. See, this situation and these type of cops are the reasons why you have to be careful, have knowledge about the law, and try not to hold court in the street, because they'll kill you. We've seen it too many times. Let me know your thoughts on this video or this topic in general. What are your thoughts? What do you think should happen to these cops? Should they go to prison or should they just get a slap on the wrist? Make sure you hit that like and sub button. Guardian Foul. Till next time, I'm out.